very good evening to one and all. Good evening, children. Welcome to the e-learning classes. Today we are going to discuss about 10th class social, 21st paper 2, 21st lesson, movements for the formation of Telangana. Children, this is a lesson completely, it is dedicated to the Telangana movement. And by this lesson we come to know that how Telangana is achieved. What were the various struggles, who were the important leaders, etc. So let us start first with the merger of Hyderabad state with India. Merger, joining of Hyderabad state. Children, already in one of the lesson in paper 2, we discussed already that at the time of independence in India, there were nearly 550 princely 550 states were there, children, that were under the rule of princes. Though it was also under the control of British rule, children. 1947, what happened? India got independence. As India got independence, now it was an opportunity given to this princely state that they can join the Indian Union, because we have to form a great India with merging of all the states. Okay, then what happened? Out of this 550 princely states, nearly about 547 they accepted, children, to join Indian Union. They accepted to join Indian government, children. Only three. Who were those three? They were the Hyderabad Nizam, then King of Kashmir, and Junagadh. These three children, they did not accept that they don't want to join the Indian Union. So these three, they wanted to rule independently as a king again, as a prince again in their respective areas. But what happened, children? In Kashmir was continuously attacked by the Pakistan to occupy it. At last, what happened? The king of Kashmir, he frustrated, he got tired with continuous war with Pakistan, and later he accepted for mergence to the Indian Union. He asked Indian army, Indian government help to help Kashmir to fight against Pakistan, and later Kashmir joined the Indian Union. Then same with the Junagadh. There was some internal crisis occurred in the Junagadh, and later Junagadh king also surrendered to the Indian state, that is Indian Union, that want to join the Indian government. Leftover was Hyderabad Nizam. Hyderabad Nizam wanted to rule independently, and what happened? There were nearly 8 districts were there, children. 8 districts out of 16 where Telugu speaking people were there. In these districts, children. So these districts, they demanded for a separate, that is joining with the Indian Union. So these districts were called as, children, Telangana. In 1920 and 1930, Andhra Mahasabha. This Andhra Mahasabha emerged to promote the cause of democratic government, social equality, and also for the promotion of Telugu language. Okay, later these movements were supported by the people from coastal Andhra, and very soon movement turned as a movement against the rule of Doras. You know, children, in those days those who supported Nizams called as Doras. So the people of Andhra, coastal Andhra, they started, children, demanding that they don't want to be under the rule of Doras, and they wanted certain land reforms in Telangana. Okay, then even after all these children, Hyderabad Nizam, he did not accept to merge with Indian Union. Later, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, at that time the Prime Minister was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So, under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, an action was conducted, action day, what we say children, was conducted, was held children, and in that one, the Nizam surrendered. And at last, in the year 1948, Hyderabad joined the Indian government, Indian Union. After this merger of Hyderabad, problems were not solved. Now, the next many problems were faced by this Telangana children. Now, the very important topic that we are going to discuss is Gentleman Agreement. A very, very important topic, children. Compulsory, the question may be asked children in this year also in the board exam. What was this Gentleman Agreement? Children, as all of you know that Andhra Pradesh, it consists of three regions, coastal Andhra, Telangana and Rayalaseema. Okay, there were nearly three different regions were there in Andhra Pradesh, and these three different regions were having different cultures. There were certain different in the language that was spoken in these three different areas, and there were different identities. Okay, Telugu also you can find children. The Telugu language of coastal Andhra is somewhat different from the Telugu that is spoken in the Telangana. Then what happened children? Telangana language. The language of, because we are discussing completely about Telangana. So the Telangana language is drawn, means is taken children from the tribal language, is drawn from the tribal language, specially, then followed by Dakkani Urdu, Kannada and Marathi. So, from altogether, from these languages, Telangana language is drawn children. Telangana language, we can find there was a much influence of all these language, whereas in the coastal Andhra, Sanskrit influenced a lot. Sanskrit language influenced a lot. Okay. Now, children, Gentlemen'S Agreement. Why? What was the need to sign this agreement? The question is coming in your mind also. So, the answer is, there was a lot of differences, children, between these two regions, Telangana and coastal Andhra. Okay, so what was the difference? Though, when the Andhra Pradesh state was formed, children, what happened? All these regions were together. So, one region was very highly developed and other regions were very backward. So, what was the reason, children, behind this one? Let us discuss. I hope this is clear, children. There were three regions of Telangana, coastal Andhra, Telangana and Rayalaseema of Andhra Pradesh, children. In these three different regions, different cultures, different identities were there, children. Telangana language is taken from children, drawn from tribal language, Dakkani Urdu, Kannada and Marathi, whereas coastal Andhra was under the influence of Sanskrit language. Now, about the Gentlemen's Agreement. Children, let us now, we have to find it out. What was the reason, children, behind this Gentlemen's Agreement? That being a part of one state only, why there was a lot of differences among the people, among the development. So there is the answer, children. Coastal Andhra. Children, as we all know that coastal Andhra, name itself is indicating it is near to the Bay of Bengal. When it was near to the Bay of Bengal, this area, children, was very much occupied by the Britishers for the purpose of trade, because the seaborne trade, that is water trade, that is export and import by the help of ships, was possible from this coastal Andhra. That's why Britishers, they established their headquarters, children, in coastal Andhra. As they established their headquarters, children, in the coastal Andhra, so what happened? They settled there only, and along with that, they developed that region, children, for the purpose of business. So it was under the British rule. when it was under the British rule, definitely this region had an access to English education. People they knew very well, they learned very well from the Britishers this English education. Not only this one, because Britishers were there, so Britishers they did modernization in agriculture, in industry, and in trade. Complete modernization, children, was started in coastal Andhra. Coastal Andhra, it is a plain region, and as it is a plain region, we find that in the coastal Andhra there is a delta of Krishna and Godavari river. Wherever there is a delta region, automatically the answer comes to us. It is an area of good soil, so people need not to depend on the rain, children, for the agriculture, because from the deltas and from the ever flowing river they get good cultivation. Followed by canal irrigation. Britishers they constructed, children, canal irrigation. So anytime if it is a drought condition also, water was available in the canals. Because of this, coastal Andhra was very well developed. Coming to the Telangana. Telangana was under the Nizam rule, children. Under the Nizam rule, so there was an Urdu education was there. There was no English education, there was Urdu education. It was very slow in the development, children, comparing to coastal Andhra. Telangana is a dry plateau region. You are learning, children, since your childhood. The Telangana is in the dry plateau region. Completely we can find rocks in this particular area, and because of that we cannot find what you call good water sources also. So in Telangana, children, this is an area that people that depend on the rain, children, for cultivation. People they do animal husbandry, rearing of cattle, they do hunting and the gathering. And the irrigation tank cheruvulu, what we say, there is a tank irrigation in Telangana. So completely Telangana remained backward, children, when compared to the coastal Andhra. So with this differences only, children, we can say that one region was completely developed comparing to the other region. Now I think it is very clear to all of you. We are moving towards this agreement, children. So after this, what happened? 1952, Hyderabad. Okay, Hyderabad became a democratic state. Hyderabad became a democratic state. What do we mean by democratic state? So in the year 1952, what happened, children? Hyderabad became a democratic state. Okay, and as it became a democratic state, children, so the first chief minister was appointed, and the first chief minister was, children, Burugula Ramakrishna Rao. Burugula Ramakrishna Rao was the first chief minister of Hyderabad, of Telangana region, children. Whereas Andhra region in the year 1953, Andhra region was separated from Madras presidency. It was under the control of Madras, children. Was separated from Madras presidency, and here also first chief minister was appointed. The first chief minister of Andhra, children, Tanguturi Prakasham. Tanguturi Prakasham was the first CM of Andhra Pradesh. So now what we find, that both the regions are having two different chief ministers. Now Andhra people, they were very keenly, they were interested, children, towards the merging of these two regions. They wanted to combine these two regions, children. Andhra Assembly, even they passed a resolution in the assembly that they had no objection that if they joined Andhra with Hyderabad, with Telangana region. Whereas in Hyderabad, children, Telangana Assembly, that is a state assembly of Telangana, they have lot of what you call questions or doubts in the mind that if Andhra will combine to the Telangana, then it will be a problem to the youth of Telangana. They might not get good employment, because in Telangana, Urdu medium educated students are there, whereas in Andhra, English medium educated students are there. So more chances are there, Andhra students may get good job opportunities in Telangana too. Followed by, they were also worried that if these two regions are combined, so from the rich people from Andhra, they might invest in the good properties of Hyderabad and they could occupy the Telangana region also. With this question, children, what happened? These two CMs, with this question, these two, they met at Delhi. They met at Delhi, children, okay, to solve this problem of merging, and they reached to an agreement called as Gentlemen's Agreement. Okay, Gentlemen's Agreement. So what is this Gentlemen's Agreement? This is an agreement for merging of these two regions with certain conditions. Okay, I hope it is clear to you now, children. Okay, 1952, Hyderabad became a democratic state and the first CM was Burugula Ramakrishna Rao. 1953, Andhra became free from the Madras presidency and the first CM of Andhra, children, Tanguturi Prakasham. Andhra wants to join with Hyderabad, but in Hyderabad, a lot of questions were there for this merging, thinking about the future of the Telangana people. And at last, the leaders of both the sides, they met at Delhi and they signed an agreement called as Gentlemen's Agreement. So now, about the Gentlemen's Agreement. Who were the members who signed this agreement? We have to look after now. Okay, who were the signatories? We can say as the signatories. Who were the signatories who signed this agreement? Okay. So now, the signatories from Andhra. Signatories means who signed this agreement, children. Okay, the signatories from Andhra Pradesh, from this we can say as from the Andhra, and the signatories from Telangana. Who were those signatories? So from the Andhra, it was the first name B. Gopala Reddy. B. Gopala Reddy. He signed it from the Andhra, followed by Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy. Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy from Andhra. Then followed by Lachanna. You have to remember these names. Any questions will be asked for 1 marks, children. Lachanna and Alluri Satyanarayana Raju. Alluri Satyanarayana Raju. These were the members, children, who signed this agreement from Andhra Pradesh. Whereas from Telangana, Burugula Ramakrishna Rao, B. Ramakrishna Rao, followed by Marri Channa Reddy, Marri Channa Reddy was also one of the person. Then followed by G.V. Narasimha Rao and K.V. Rangareddy. G.V. Narasimha Rao and K.V. Rangareddy. K.V. Rangireddy. Is it clear, children? In 1 mark, they may ask you this question, children. Name the signatories, those who signed the Gentlemen's Agreement. Okay, so these were the members who signed the Gentlemen's Agreement on 20th of February 1956. This Gentleman Agreement was signed. Okay, so what was this one, children? According to this Gentleman Agreement, Hyderabad was a capital. Andhra Pradesh became a one state and with the capital of Hyderabad. So now let us discuss the points of Gentleman's Agreement. This is the Gentleman's Agreements point, children. Gentleman Agreements were signed on the 20th of February 1956. What are the points that are related to Gentleman's Agreement? So the points are: expenditure on administration was to be bear by the two regions, but the surplus revenue that comes from Telangana, it should spend only on the development of Telangana. What are the extra income that they get it? That should be spent on the development of Telangana. Okay. Expenditure will be bear by two regions, but the surplus revenue will be spent on Telangana. Number one, educational facility in Telangana would be reserved for Telangana students only. That means our reservation facilities were started, children, where the educational facilities in Telangana would be reserved for Telangana students only. Andhra students are not allowed. To continue Mulkey rule. For 1 mark, this question is important. What is Mulkey rule, children? Mulkey rule is that, children, at the time of admission, at the time of any counseling, many people, they ask you about the local certificate. Mulkey rule means a person who reside in any place for 12 years gets the right to get the job and also what he called admissions in the colleges or the schools. The person who is getting the right, the person who is living minimum of 12 years, a minimum of 12 years residence in Telangana for jobs and admissions. Then Gentlemen's Agreement set up Regional Council, a statutory body, children. This was the council where nearly 20 members of Legislative Assembly was there to oversee the need of Telangana. Even this regional council was so strong, children, that without the permission, no one was having the right to purchase or to sell the land to the outsiders. Then ministry. In assembly, Telangana assembly, ministry should be 40% from Telangana and 60% from Andhra, because Andhra Pradesh people, they were English medium educated people. So 40% only from Telangana and 60% from Andhra Pradesh. And this was also decided, children, if the chief minister is from Andhra Pradesh, then deputy chief minister should be from Telangana. Or if chief minister is from Telangana, deputy chief minister should be from Andhra Pradesh. So these are all the points, children, of Gentlemen's Agreement. As rules, a set of rules that was promised by both the leaders of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So these were signed, children. And then after this one, children, what happened? The proposal of this regional council. Regional council was made very important, children. All the development plans to be done by regional council. Regional council now also look after, children, all the recruitment, where, to whom they have to appoint, in which job, what are the criteria of the job, everything, children, was given to the authority, to the regional council. Sale and purchase of land in Telangana was also under the control of regional council, children. So this were all, children, we can say that this agreement recognize this distinct identity of Telangana. So what happened? In this agreement, we find that more importance were given, children, to the Telangana. But only importance were given, all the fruits were not given of this agreement. The fruits were born, enjoyed by the Andhra Pradesh people, children. So what happened? It was a quotation called as the Telangana within the state. It's like Telangana got a distinct, different identity, children, through this gentleman's agreement, and got, children, this one, a sentence that it is like a gentleman agreement, like a state within the state. So children, this is a gentleman agreement. Very important question, children. Compulsory, every year this question is asked, children. You are supposed to write the reasons behind this gentleman's agreement. Just now what I bifurcated for you. Andhra I wrote one side and Telangana I wrote one side. Then the chief ministers of Telangana and the Andhra. And then afterwards, gentleman's agreement, the date and the year and the points of gentleman's agreement. Hope you understood. Okay. So now it's your work, children. Read the lesson. Read the lesson, children, and go through, if any other resources you are having, go through that one and improve your knowledge. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, children.